Boys Month 2, baby. It's here. It's here. Hold on. It's here. Boys Month. Welcome. I'm Tony from Hack the Movies. And don't worry, if you're watching on Adam's channel, Adam's coming in a minute. This is Boys Month. Okay. We're starting with the Deadpool trilogy. And no better person to start Boys Month off with than my main boy, Adam. Hello.
Boys Month! God!
Mine's not impressive yet. I have to cover mine up.
Okay. you just have to buy like a child's medium t-shirt and then everything looks larger.
Yes, today we're talking about the Deadpool trilogy, but real quick, Adam, there's some controversy with Boys Month. Oh. I made an egregious mistake. I put the apostrophe in the wrong place in boys. And even though hundreds of people saw the video where I did this, only one guy pointed it out. Only one guy said, is it just one singular Boys Month or is it a month for all boys? That would be Boys apostrophe month. Aside from the homoerotic nature of the name, will there be some gay boy representation? And I told him Joey C will be on an episode, but I couldn't believe that no one else corrected me. That really shows you how bad grammar is.
It's almost like people don't care anymore when it comes to grammar on the internet.
Apparently not. Apparently not. I should have known better. I should have ran it through Grammarly, but I'm not going to let that ruin our life. Adam, I'm very excited to talk about today's films.
Yeah.
We're talking about Deadpool, the Deadpool trilogy. But Adam, what is the name of the game for our live episodes?
Tony, Joey's not here today to do the whole pitch, but I'll do my best. Folks, to keep the lights on here at Hack the Movies and at Adam Does Movies, Super Chats are really the name of the game. It's a special thing. It helps Boys Month continue to thrive month to month. If you want to see Boys Month next month and the month after that, get those Super Chats in and we will never have a woman on this channel again.
Yes. You know, you're like Scrooge at the end where he keeps the spirit of Christmas all year long. You have Boys Month 12 months out of the. I'm jealous of you. I only get Boys Month once a year, Adam.
That's right, Tony. There's no girls allowed in this treehouse.
I have too many. I try to get them off all the time.
I mean, it could be that no women want to come on my show, but regardless, yeah.
Yes, please leave a super chat. We will read your comment on screen within reason. For the love of God, if I see the word Olympics on there, I'm ignoring the shit out of it. For the love of God, don't do that. But yes, let's talk about Deadpool, created by Rob Liefeld. Adam, are you familiar with the Deadpool comics or who this character was?
No. I knew Deadpool from the one episode he was in the X-Men animated series.
He wasn't even in it. Morph turns into him for
That's right. Yeah. He's there down in that weird. I don't even know. Was it a sewer or something like a subway station or something?
Yeah. So Deadpool was made by Rob Liefeld. I think he is a parody of Deathstroke from DC Comics. He was worked into the Weapon X stuff. Rob Liefeld was a very popular 90s artist. All his characters looked weird and had weird feet, which the movies make fun of his art style. Every 90s comic where everyone's wearing a million goddamn pouches and shit, that's Rob Liefeld mostly. He showed up in New Mutants. He was part of Weapon X. He was just kind of like a whatever character. And then I don't know what happened. Maybe late 90s, but early 2000s, he became a super popular comedic character. He did fourth wall breaks. I went back and I read 2 volumes of Deadpool years ago. Funny enough, that whole Pizza Man scene from Deadpool 1, I remember I read the comic that day. I went to a Barnes & Noble and binged a bunch of comics. So when it happened in the movie, I'm like, oh, I read that.
That's fun. I didn't know that they took that from the comic book. Are they pretty true to the comics as far as the story and everything? Or
I think they're doing their own thing story-wise, but they're in spirit with the comics. Now, I used to not like Deadpool, but as I've learned over the years, I just think Deadpool's fans are kind of cringe. They are really annoying. It's like shotgun humor where it's joke a minute, which we've seen in the movies.
So they're kind of like Nickelback fans, where the band's actually pretty solid, but you're almost embarrassed to be a fan at the.
Pretty much. But I mean, they're fine for the most. Now that I'm less jaded, they're fine for the most part. He is a fun character. He's quippy. Not every joke lands for me, which I'll probably say when we get to the movies. But it's innocent enough. So I read like 2 volumes, and then I read Night of the Living Deadpool, and I was like, what kind of asshole would go back and redo Night of the Living Dead? Please watch my movie, Hack the Living Dead. Anyway, so yeah, basically I wasn't like super into the character, but he started popping up and stuff. He had a whole comic series with Cable. He showed up in that Hulk versus. Remember that animated Hulk versus movie that came out? It was like him versus Wolverine and Thor.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my first like real big exposure to him. He was one of the takeaways from that movie. Like he was really, really funny. He showed up in Ultimate Spider-Man. Basically, people were really starting to love this character. And they were like, all right, time to put him in a movie. And then they did. We're not going to talk about that because I already covered it in my What is the Best Wolverine episode. I'm not going to blindside you, Adam. All right. So you don't really
this is all like cross promotion right now for your own shit.
Yeah. So basically that's my experience with the character. He has regenerative powers.
Wow, what an interesting set of facts that you can learn about right here on this video.
But basically you went in blind with this character. You knew nothing about him.
Yeah, I knew very little. I think the video game might have been out as well.
It was before the movie for sure.
Yeah, so I knew the character. I kind of got the gist of it. He's a smart ass. That's fine. Cool. Yeah. I'm in.
But yeah, without further ado, now let's talk about the first Deadpool movie. You ready, Adam?
I'm ready. I was born ready.
Okay. The Deadpool is the last Dirty Harry film. It came out in 1988. It features a very young Jim Carrey and singing Guns N' Roses and a very young Liam Neeson. Adam, how would you rank this on the Deadpool movie?
Is that really Jim Carrey?
Yeah, he sings Welcome to the Jungle. He's like a heroin addict.
I thought his first movie was like Once Bitten or Rubberneck.
This is probably after that, but it's still early Jim Carrey.
Wow, I had no idea he was in. Well, I didn't know this movie existed to begin
I know.
With, so that's phenomenal.
Wanted to throw you a curve.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's great. Yeah.
No, without all jokes aside. So yeah, Ryan Reynolds was very upset with how they did X-Men Origins. And he wanted a second chance. He got Tim Miller, who was like a visual effects dude who did the animated trailer for Arkham Origins. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I did.
But it was very, very well received. Him and Ryan Reynolds kind of like did this CGI test with Deadpool, and the studio said no, and then they leaked it.
And then it took like 5 years, didn't it, for it to get greenlit finally?
But the reception was so good and people really, really wanted it that Fox was like, fuck it, why not? And then
not only that, but they recreated that whole little sequence that they made
in the beginning,
yeah. Except for they did not use Holla Back Girl, which I thought was the superior pick for the music. I love the.
That would have been great. So yeah, then we get Deadpool 2016. I'll briefly go through the plot synopsis.
Please, yes, please.
So yeah, we start off with Deadpool. He's already in his superhero form. He's trying to get revenge on some people. We learn his backstory. He was a hitman for hire. He hangs out at a local hitman bar where they have a dead pool trying to figure out who will die next.
Do we get demonetized if we mention the other actor that was with him in that shot?
Yeah, probably.
He's nowhere to be found in the third movie.
Rest in peace, Weasel.
Yes.
He falls in love with a stripper, Vanessa, right? Was that her name?
It's Vanessa, yeah.
Played by Morena Baccarin. I should just
the chick from Serenity or Firefly.
Yeah, Firefly.
That's my girl. Yeah.
And Gotham. She was also in Gotham.
I'm not familiar.
So yeah, he falls in love with her. They want to have a whole life together, but then he gets cancer. Oh no. He's real sad. He tries to break up with her. We flash forward. He apparently does not get along with the X-Men because they're trying to stop him on his revenge mission. But what is his revenge mission? Well, it turns out the guy from Galaxy Quest, of all people, gets
budget Agent Smith, right?
Yes, gets him to sign up for a superhero program. But really, it's this guy Francis, whose character trait is that he wants people to say his bad guy name.
Which is is it Ajax? Is that the name?
Ajax, I think.
Yeah, it's terrible.
him and that girl everyone pretended could act for like 10 years. They are actually just giving people mutant powers so they can use them as weapons. And it fucks him up, makes him look all weird. He wants to get revenge. He's got to save the girl, and he teams up with comic accurate Colossus after 3 films where he basically did nothing. And Negasonic Teenage Warhead has nothing to do with the comics. They just like the name. And they have a fun time together. Now, Adam, how do you feel about this one?
I love this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all 3 of them actually, but the first one might still be my favorite because I think it has the best storyline, even though it's an origin film and even though we've seen a lot of it before. Just the way that it's like framed and the way that Deadpool uses the fourth wall breaking and the jokes are hilarious, and it was fresh and new and kind of, you know, reinvigorated the comic book scene that was already starting to get a bit stale when Deadpool came out. Yeah, I love this. I revisit this movie once every so often. I think I just rewatched it with my son Connor, who's 12 now. So he feels like he's really, he's seen some R-rated shit now. He's in. He's fully in. So we had a great time watching both this one and all 3 of them actually. So the third one here. So yeah, I really like this film.
Did you see this in theaters? Did you have a good theater experience, Adam? Did you?
Should I say I have a horrible one and then go on a 20-minute rant like you're probably
No, I will tell you my theater experience.
Mine was great.
We got to see this early. And it was, remember how I said I just don't like Deadpool fans?
Yeah.
I saw it in a theater full of Deadpool fans, but the ones that laugh at like the most basic of jokes. And I think there was a guy who wrote one of the comics that was in there, not like a creator or anything. So I guess people wanted to impress him, even though he had nothing to do with the movie. So Adam, you know how there's like a joke every 5 seconds?
Yeah.
This theater laughed at every single one of those jokes. Every single one of those jokes. And hard. They laughed hard. I missed jokes.
I was going to say, did they laugh over other jokes? Perfect.
Yeah, they laughed over really good jokes. So I had the most miserable experience watching this. Someone who doesn't really like the character too much at the time and thinks the fans were annoying. And I was totally justified that night. I'm like, I hate all of you. This movie fucking sucks. I can't stand this. I never want to watch this piece of shit again. People were telling me the movie, like, that movie sucked. I never want to experience that again. That was a miserable experience. And then, like, when Deadpool 2 was coming out, I was like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. And then, like, my ex at the time had the Blu-ray. I'm like, well, let me, like, catch up. Let me pop it in. And then I watched it. And much like I have a similar story with Shin Godzilla, I watched it by myself at home, quiet, and I went, oh, wait. That was actually kind of funny. Oh, wait, that joke landed. Oh, that's what I'm like, wait, I think I kind of like this movie. I'm like, oh my God, it was a total 180 from the worst theater experience ever.
It's so sad and amazing how like a bad movie theater audience can just completely cripple the experience. I've had so many like that where you're just focused half on the audience and what they're going to do to piss you off next before like preemptively before they do it, that you're just not even invested in the film anymore. That sucks. So have you gone back since and rewatched?
Yeah, I've gone back a couple times since then. I actually really enjoy it. Now, I think I like the movies more than the comics because the comics, I mean, they're Marvel. They know kids are kind of reading them, so they can't go like as edgy. Like they get violent, but I don't know. At least the ones I read weren't mentioning dicks as much as the movies do, or pegging, or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure I just got kicked off Twitch for even saying that. Not every joke lands in the movie, though. There's stuff like I have an example here. Hold on. Like this is kind of funny. Him making fun of Green Lantern.
Yeah, yeah.
But then
he does a couple of times in it.
Yeah, he does it again later on. It's like, okay. No, he got it. He got it the first time. This is kind of funny. When they cut to his action figure from X-Men Origins Wolverine. And then he goes, I'll sew your mouth up. And he's like, don't do that. I'm like, no, I got it. I got it earlier. We don't have to keep bringing it up. And of course, this was a joke I did like when he called her Ripley from Alien 3. And I'm like, all right, that one fucking got me.
That's great. Yeah. The most celebrated of all the Alien films were Alien
of course.
3.
Of course.
Yes,
but yeah, there's moments where like a joke that lands for me is where he tells Blind Al, the old woman that he lives with. He's like, I left a bunch of cocaine next to the cure for blindness.
It's so good.
And I think he goes back later and he finds the cure for blindness. I'm like, all right, that's really funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, I love the baby hands when he gets his hands chopped off, and then he gets his legs chopped off later, and he's got like he's
that's
like a
in
baby.
the second one, but yeah.
Oh, it's in the second one where he's Daffy
Yeah.
Ducking it. That's great.
Yeah. I don't know. The first one, it is a fun time, and I love that. I do like the meta self-awareness thing. Now, people get hung up on like where this fits continuity wise, as if the X-Men movies after 3 had good continuity. Yeah,
I don't even think the third one had continuity with the second one. I'm rewatching those movies right now. No, the whole like Jean Grey as a child having the Dark Phoenix inside of her, I think that was kind of retconned from the second movie, because in the second one, she's just starting to get those powers.
And they imply that maybe the machine from the first movie is what unlocked that power. But I mean, it's not like they didn't completely start fucking up like the years.
Bullshit.
But no, when I see these movies, I'm like, because people right now, even we'll get to the third one, they're trying to figure out like continuity and stuff. I'm like, guys, this is like trying to figure out like the logistics of like the Naked Gun. Like these are this is a superhero.
I referenced the Naked Gun in the new Deadpool and Wolverine because I said the plot is trash, and people are like, "How dare you? You hate the new movie?" Like, no, I love the new movie, but the plot's bad. That's okay. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, there are some sincere moments in this that I think are a good break from the action and the comedy with him and Vanessa.
I think that's why I like this one the most, is because there's a bit more going on than just the nonstop humor. There is actually some good heart. There's a good love story. All that stuff works.
Yeah.
Is this the one that has all the jokes about there never being any X-Men at the mansion? Because I always thought that was great too.
Both movies have that.
Both movies,
I know what one you're thinking in the second one, but this one, when he meets her, actually, it's literally this scene. He goes like, "Oh, it's funny. I keep only running into you two." And as he's walking away, he's like, "Yeah, it's almost like the studio didn't want to pay for more X-Men."
Exactly. Wow, it's a really big school. It's crazy how you're the only person I keep running into. Yeah, that's good.
I do like when the Blackbird takes off. It's just reused footage from X-Men 3. Like,
is it really?
Yeah.
No. Oh my god, that's awesome. I didn't catch that.
So yeah, they're kind of like Naked Gun, sort of Family Guy, wacky stuff. I'm not worried about like the plot or where this fits in the universe. At this point, every X-Men movie is in its own universe because it doesn't work as one cohesive thing. But yeah, it's a good time. The action's really, really solid. They have a lot of fun with his regeneration. His interactions with the X-Men are fun. It was fun seeing a comic accurate Colossus. He never goes into human form, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, I was going to ask what you thought about the whole CG Colossus compared to the one from the second X-Men movie, and I think it's funny. It's the same actor from X2 and X3, but for some reason the X3 one was on Atkins or something, because he looks way different. He got like thinner.
And he comes back for Days of Future Past also.
Yeah,
they never really gave him a lot to do. Like he barely talked. He didn't have his Russian accent. I mean, he looked cool. He looked the part. I don't mind.
In the second one, I thought he looked cool.
Yeah,
when he was like,
oh, the third one, he looked really bad. He looked fine.
Yeah, he didn't look good. Yeah,
but no, this one I like that they were like, no one really cares about the continuity anymore. I mean, X-Men Origins to First Class, that breaks so much continuity.
So bad.
So they're like, let's just have our own Colossus, who's like the big CGI guy.
And they do that again with Juggernaut in the second one.
Yeah. So I appreciated that. Yeah, it's a movie that really, really grew on me. I still don't think it lands all the way. Not all the jokes land for me. I think that's maybe the reason I don't rewatch it more. Where I'm like, yeah, I like that part, but I don't want to sit through that whole sequence again. But yeah, it was very fun. There were some references there. Hydra Bob is in it, but they weren't allowed to call him Hydra Bob. Apparently, Deadpool has a friend that they were like mercenaries in the past called Hydra Bob, and they bump into each other. So that's that scene in Deadpool where one of the mercenaries is like a friend of his. It's a reference to that character.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I just thought that was a funny thing. I'm like, oh, they worked him into the movie. I didn't think he would actually make it into the film. But like I said,
that's for all the hardcore Deadpool comic book fan out there. You can catch that.
Yeah. Also, it was kind of funny that they were fighting on the helicarrier from Avengers, but they weren't allowed to draw attention to it. I thought that was bizarre.
That's interesting.
But yeah, Deadpool 1, bad theater experience, but overall it's okay. You have any last words on Deadpool 1?
No, I think I mean I enjoy it on pretty much every level. I love the music that they infused in it. The
Mm,
Never Gonna Dance Again.
yeah,
What's that song called? Quiet Whisper? Is that the that might be the Seether remake version of the song, which is actually
yeah,
fantastic. If you've ever heard Careless Whisper by
yeah.
Seether,
They have that
really good version.
Angel of the Morning song in the beginning. I like
Yeah,
the
this
X. The X gonna give it to you is pretty good.
of course the
X
DMX.
gonna
Yeah, yeah. It's so good. And then you would see Suicide Squad try to rip off the style and fail completely, like just
Oh
infusing
God, yeah.
18
Okay, yeah.
different pop songs into the beginning.
Suicide Squad
They,
2016. Yeah.
yeah, they gave Boomerang or Captain Boomerang a unicorn like flies out of his jacket at
Yeah.
one point. It's like, what does this
Makes
have to do
no
with
sense.
anything?
It makes no sense.
Yeah, but yeah, this
Um,
this really kind of upped the ante, I thought,
it
and
did.
it was an R-rated comedy, which
Mhm.
I was talking to someone else recently on another stream, and like maybe it was you. It was probably you. I was talking to some other person. You're like, "What's the last good R-rated comedy?" And I thought, well, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's an R-rated comedy. That's the one because you don't really associate them with comedy straight up. It's
Yeah.
a superhero comic book action movie, but no,
Yeah.
it's comic book. It's a comedy first and foremost.
Yeah, and I think it's good. Yeah, then a few years later, by the way, yeah, it took off. Like this movie did super well, better than they thought it would. And
Yeah.
I remember they put out like X-Men Apocalypse teasers with Deadpool like narrating to get people excited for that movie because it was like
Oh
the
my
next one
god. Yeah.
coming out. And I was like, well, if Deadpool says it's good.
Well, and they had these movies have always had fantastic marketing
Yeah.
campaigns too. I think the first one was when they did all the DVDs for Fox.
Oh,
Deadpool
no,
was
no, no, no,
on
no,
the
no.
covers.
That was the second one because I own Logan on Blu-ray with the Deadpool cover.
That was the second one. They did the
Yeah.
DVD covers. That was
Yeah.
so freaking good.
That
Okay,
was fun.
maybe they didn't go as crazy with the first movie because they were testing the waters, but the second one, the marketing was peak.
I think they put the first one out on Valentine's Day. They were really pushing it as a Valentine's Day
That's
movie.
right. Yep.
So yeah, a couple years later, they're like, all right, we got to do Deadpool 2. Why not? Josh Brolin's pulling double duty as Thanos and Cable.
And I think he pulls them both off very well.
Yeah, he pulls them both off. Yeah, they're pulling in more characters from the Deadpool comics and X-Men. So yeah, by the way, I didn't watch the Once Upon a Deadpool. Did you? I didn't watch it. The PG-13 cut. Do you know about that?
I did not watch. Yeah, I know that like Fred Savage is at
Yeah.
the beginning and he gets a story read to him, and that was about it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple clips and I went, I'm good. I did
Yeah.
watch the super duper cut in 4K, but it's been a while since I've seen this movie, so I didn't know what they added and what was in the original cut.
It would be really funny, quick side note or related, but it would be really funny if Disney did a Disney cut of Deadpool for like the Disney Plus release. I don't know what that would entail, but I think they could do something really funny with it.
Well, it's hard to find. Once Upon a Deadpool doesn't stream. You have to like find a physical Blu-ray of it or do other things to find
Was it on Netflix for a while? It was on one of those.
If it was,
before,
I didn't see
Disney.
it.
Yeah,
I kept trying to see if it was streaming, and then when I realized it wasn't streaming, I was like, I don't care. So yeah, our movie starts, and I kind of get the frustration because we finally get a Deadpool movie, and then Hugh Jackman's like, all right, I'm done playing Wolverine.
Yeah.
It starts with a fuck Wolverine, which I think is great.
That was great.
Deadpool is trying to kill himself. He's not able to die, but he's trying. We find out that after the first movie, he decided to kill bad people for hire, not good people. He's a killer with morals now. And off the bat, I want to say they got one of the John Wick guys to direct this, and the action is awesome. Like
it's really good.
This whole katana fight scene to fucking Enya music is way better than it has any right to be.
Well, I thought this was to 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
It goes back and forth. If there's 9 to
Okay.
5, and then at one point it's like Enya, and then it goes, maybe that's
it jumps around.
Cut, but yeah. I love this part where everyone's being killed in normal motion, but this guy's running in slow motion. So things are going good for Wade Wilson. He's trying to have a baby with this lady, but boom, this dude comes back and kills Vanessa, which ruins his life. He's very upset. He can't even get revenge because he ends up just killing them all right away. So he's depressed, tries to kill himself. I love the opening credits.
Celine Dion.
Yeah, but it's like a James Bond sort of opening.
Yes. Was the Celine Dion song created for this movie, or was that out before?
I don't know.
Don't
I
know. That
don't
would be
know. I know you're
amazing
a
if
big
she made it.
Celine
Just
Dion fan.
I actually celebrate her entire catalog. She's got a lot of good shit.
You have all those CDs.
I
You
have all
love
the
them.
Tony, this is a true fun fact. I used to paint in the summers with a ragtag crew of people right out of high school, fresh as a daisy out of high school, going into college. And we would have to drive for like an hour. So every morning we get up at like 6 a.m, go through the McDonald's drive-through, and we would blast Celine Dion music and just rock out. We go from Celine to like Metallica to Eminem, but Celine was always the catalyst, and it was amazing. We were
you might be the one person whose music taste is as chaotic as mine. So yeah, I like the text in the beginning, just ignoring all the credits and be like, "What the fuck? Why'd you kill her?" And just the director making fun of himself.
They do that in all the movies, which is great. I love the little nods and making fun of themselves.
They don't do it in the third one in the credit sequence. Oddly enough, the credit sequence of the third one is just straight up.
Do they not? There was so much going on. I guess I did not pay attention to the words that were showing up on the screen.
But yeah, so Colossus like rebuilds him. Negasonic is now dating a girl named Yukio, who's not the same Yukio from the Wolverine.
I love Yukio. She's great. Just a little bit of screen time she has.
Yeah. Hi Wade. Hi Yukio. Hi. So basically the whole movie's about like trying to find like purpose and family and whatnot. I do love this moment where he's like, why are none of the other X-Men here? It's funny that it was just the Dark Phoenix cast, because that was the one that just happened to be being filmed at the same time.
And did they I assume actually shot this for this movie? It was a quick little, because they were probably on the same studio lot and everything.
Yeah, they were probably like, everyone come over for this cameo. But along the way, he's trying to find purpose. So he basically, and a family. So he's like, I'll be an X-Men. He's like an X-Men trainee. They go to like this one house that's like abusing mutants. He tries to save the one.
I love his trainee shirt that he's got. So stupid.
I like when he's just like, step out of the way, X-Men. We're a dated metaphor for racism of the 60s. So yeah, he ends up befriending a kid named Russell. They go to prison together. I love the whole like this mutant dampening collar is just bringing his cancer back full force.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
Oh, he's like, I'm basically Hawkeye.
But
things get worse.
They got to find the biggest guy and make him his bitch or whatever.
Things get worse though, because it turns out Russell grows up to be a little bit of an asshole and fucks around with what you call Cable's family. So now he's back in time with the sole purpose of killing Russell. I feel like he could do other things to stop Russell from becoming a killer, but it's like, nope.
This time stuff is always tricky.
I know.
You always got one shot, and it's something gets wrong on the dial, or he had to go exactly where he knew he'd be. It's messy.
He talks about how like the whole world goes to shit and whatnot. It's like, well, why do you stop those events from happening?
Yeah.
So Cable's from the future. We know him as Cyclops, and not Jean, but Madeline, the clone of Jean's son, whatever. So we know him as that. They don't really address that in the film. No. Wade makes his own little X-Force team.
X-Force is awesome.
Consisting of Bedlam,
Terry Crews,
Zeitgeist.
Is that one of the
That's Pennywise, yes. That is one of the Skarsgård. Bill
Skarsgård, thank you. Yeah.
Not Austin Butler. I know you get those two.
I do get them confused. The Butler, they're all the same at the end of the day to me.
Then there's Vanisher, played by Brad Pitt for 5 seconds.
I wish they would have brought him back in the third one somehow. It would have been fun.
And then, of course, everyone's favorite character from the Mortal Kombat 2020 film. He's there as Shatterstar. Uh, he has probably got him the role as Cole Young in Mortal Kombat.
Oh God, Cole Young.
Yeah.
It's the worst character.
And when you think of characters that Deadpool crosses over with a lot, you think of Cable, and you also think of well, not him. You don't think of Peter. Never mind. I messed with my slides. I love that there's just a guy named Peter who auditions for.
Yeah, he just wants to be part of something.
He just wants to be part of the team.
Yeah.
But no, you think of Domino, played by Zazie Beetz, and Adam nailed it. Looks just like her. Perfect casting. They all fucking die, which is pretty great. Which I kind of called as it was happening. I'm like, oh, they're all gonna fucking die. None of these people are making it to the end, except for Domino.
Who? Yeah, she is so good in this movie. I don't care. I don't care if she's not even remotely comic accurate. That actress, role, it was so good.
Her comic power is, and I love. Again, they make fun of Rob Liefeld, where he's like, what stupid power is that? Who would have came up with that? And he goes, a guy who probably can't draw feet, which is what Rob Liefeld is really criticized for.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they eventually release a comic accurate Juggernaut, not the Leather Daddy from X-Men 3.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. It's so bad.
Oh my God. Yeah, then it becomes a race between him and Cable, being like, Cable wants to kill Russell, and Deadpool's like, wait, I think there's a way I can stop him from becoming what he hates. Oh, and Dopinder from the first movie wants to be a hitman. Where do you land on Deadpool 2, Adam?
I like this movie a lot. I already gave you my best, but I think this is it's very, very close to runner up. I'm undecided if I'd put it above the third one. I need to see the third one again. I've seen this one a few times, and yeah, it's like a fine wine. I think it gets better with age. I think the action, like you said, is tighter in this one. There's some great that whole chase sequence. Although, you know, Tony, the opening scene in the first movie is freaking fantastic. That fight in the car going down the highway is wonderful. But the chase scene in this one where Domino's running, shit's just blowing up everywhere, and Deadpool's complaining about how lame she is while cool stuff is going on. Very, very well done. Yeah. I love how Deadpool's on the bus and he's like doing the sword thing, and he's not blocking any of the bullets. He's not blocking any of the bullets. They're all just going right through him.
I think he does it first, and then he just gets way too tired.
Yeah. It's like, just it's so well done. And yeah, I think the only problem I have with this one, and it's intentionally done, but that doesn't make it any more enjoyable, is where Deadpool kind of keeps pretending to die. I felt like it dragged on so long. And it's the point, but it's not that funny.
I think in the Super Duper cut, they added a few things. Like there's like a folk version of Love Hurts. He like jumps off a building and splatters, and the girl's like, I can't believe he did that. He's like, I can't believe you wore that top today. Like, he's just being really mean. So yeah, I think they add it more in the Super Duper cut. I like this way. So going into this, I'm like, I finally like the first one, but I don't think it's great.
Okay.
I'm enjoying. I'm glad I gave it another shot. I enjoyed it. I'll watch it again. I went into this one, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, it won me over so much. It like the jokes just land so much better than the first movie. There's less of that.
Yeah, they've established the characters, and now you can just have fun with it, sort of thing.
There's less of the like sort of easy family guy. Like a joke I don't like in the first one is when the car's flipping. He goes, did I leave the oven on? I'm like, okay.
But I love it. I thought that was hilarious.
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
It just freeze frames, and he's like, huh. I think it's great because it was such a well, you know the character well, so maybe that shtick is old hat for you. Bring up
chimichangas more often.
Yeah, that was always I knew him for that as well. But
which that joke never
for me, that was like a great introduction to the stupidity of the character and just how absurd he is. Like he's killed 8 guys at this point. Cars are just it's bedlam everywhere, and he's like, oh, I wonder. He's not even his head's in a completely different place. That's funny. That's funny.
But here it worked. There was nothing like that took me out of the movie. All the jokes worked, and I like that the fourth wall breaks are basically what defines the character now. I love him like talking about how good his movie did. How it's like it was just under Passion of the Christ for like most successful R-rated movie. Yeah, they're having fun with the X-Men stuff. Like, hey, he
Mhm.
makes his own X-Men team, which I thought was funny. Yeah, everything just lands, and I know we're not supposed to like him, but Weasel, played by TJ Miller, TJ
Yeah,
Miller.
he's great in these.
I
His comedy
yeah,
works perfectly in this
I know he's a
type of role.
weirdo in real life, but
Yeah,
no,
well, they're all weirdos in
yeah,
real life. We
I
can't go
love
that
that he
road.
just gets kidnapped and sells them all out. Like he tells them the entire plan.
Yeah, that's great.
He's like, and warning, there is a wind advisory in effect. And then later on, he comes back. He's like, I just want you to know, I told him everything.
So good.
And this is the one where he gets cut in half. And he grows the.
He's got the baby feet. Yeah, it's the hand in the first one, and the baby feet in this one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was
Yeah.
the hand in the first.
Yeah, because he cuts it off while he's getting dragged away.
Yeah, I do love when Domino comes in. She's like, "Oh my god, I've never seen you without your mask on before." Like she's horrified by it.
No, everybody gets like three cracks at his appearance. I do think the final act of this one just overall feels a little tame in comparison to the first one, and that's maybe why I push it a little higher. Because the final battle at the school, you have the Colossus Juggernaut fight, which isn't great, I don't think, and him getting defeated by getting the cable shoved up his ass in the pool was like
that was funny because Juggernaut kept mentioning wanting to shove things up asses.
Yeah,
so he kept bringing it up. Which on my second watch, I'm like, I didn't realize how much ass stuff he kept talking about. And so like, I'm like, oh, it kind of makes sense now.
The foreshadow, the ass shadow.
Yes, you're right that neither of them, like Ajax wasn't that cool of a villain. I didn't really care about Angel Dust, whatever her name was in the first one. And in this one, there really isn't like a clear villain. Like Cable's kind of the villain, but it's actually the school guy, but Juggernaut kind of overshadows all of them. But he's not the primary antagonist. Not that there really needs to be one, but no, I enjoy. Like you said, the action might not be great in the end, but like a lot of the stuff that's happening with like the time trial, I love his death scene, how he just refuses to die.
Yeah, it was too much for me. Like, no,
I liked it. It was just enough.
The carry-on joke, when they do that, it's hit and miss. I think it worked perfectly in Team America World Police, where he kept throwing up on the ground. That was the one that. Oh no, Tony! I don't want to freak you out too much, but you've frozen a couple times. It's all right. It's okay.
We're good though.
I think so. We'll keep pushing past it.
I didn't freeze on my end. I'm not getting the internet signal.
As long as you're not getting that internet death ray showing up.
I'm not a robot. Okay. I'm not seeing anything in the comments.
Okay.
I swear to God, I did 2 test streams to make sure this wasn't an issue. I'm going to blame you. I'm going to say that that's on your end.
It's very possible.
But yeah, so I liked Cable like going back and like changing the events a little bit. I again with Domino's stupid, dumb, lucky power. I love when they're like, there's a combination of the things. She's like, try 7, and it just works. No, the one thing I loved was that there's like a guy named like Black Eddie or something who's clearly a white guy, and like Cable kills him. And then, like, throughout the rest of the movie, Deadpool just thinks
he calls him racist.
He just calls him racist the whole time.
That's right.
And I love as he's dying, he's like, I hope one day you could judge a person based on the content of their character. And it's like he's not racist.
So funny. That was great. And then they had the one joke about the dude that looked like Jared Kushner, which was really funny. I just thought to myself, so did they like do a casting call for a guy that looks like Jared Kushner so they could do that joke? Or did it just lead to that at some point?
And the violence is like really graphic, but also very convenient. Like when Deadpool falls and he doesn't have his healing power and his back just breaks on the table. Like that's hard to look at. Yeah. I like when Domino is fighting that one guy and he falls on the bed and the cabinet comes and just rips his head off. Just everything works.
Here's a nerdy comic question for you. Logan feels everything. He makes that very clear in all the movies. He feels all the pain. Does Wade not feel anything when he gets killed, or is it just he laughs it off so much that
I think he just laughs it off.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it just
especially in the third one, it's like, dear God, this guy's getting absolutely destroyed here. Why is he not in any sort of pain at all?
Yeah. Also, I do like that he had to tape himself together. He had to tape his suit together. But yeah, this movie ends with a bit of time travel shenanigans. He goes back and saves his girlfriend, which is good. All right, so a lot of people were legitimately complaining that they killed his girlfriend off. And because that is a comic book trope that people don't like. It's referred to as fridging, Adam. Have you ever heard this term?
I've not heard that. No, that sounds amazing.
So apparently people think that when writers need to come up with drama for a character, they pick the easy way out and they kill a girlfriend. And the one example they have is the one Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner. Some bad guy killed his girlfriend and shoved her in a refrigerator for him to find later. And they're like, people really, really hated the decision. So it's called fridging. So people were genuinely upset about that. I'm like, guys, this is a parody of superheroes. It's being done on the whole opening song. The text is with you and talking about how that's stupid. And they were smart and they brought her back. Although I don't know why when we factor in the third one. So that didn't bother me, and it bothered so many people. I'm like, guys, fucking relax. This isn't meant to be a serious superhero movie. It's just supposed to be a joke thing. But yeah, he does a couple things, like kills Ryan Reynolds before he stars in the Green Lantern. And then he kills baby Hitler. That was nice. That was a nice touch. Yeah. Again, people always say, like, you could just move him. You don't have to actually do that, but not Deadpool. All
right, I have a random question. So, and I've seen this happen on different streaming services where they will edit out scenes in movies just randomly or jokes in TV shows. It's bullshit that they can even do that. But I could have sworn there was a scene at the end of Deadpool 2 where he goes to Logan's grave and he is thinking about injecting him with that green serum. And then he's like, nah, and he walks away. Is that not at the end of this movie, or have I lost my mind?
I don't think I've ever even seen that.
Have I lost my mind? I swore this happened at the theater
quick, when I saw it. Let me take Hitler's name off the screen.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. I think maybe that was like a joke thing that someone filmed. I've never seen that in either cut of the film. I know.
I might truly have dreamt it. I might have dreamt it because I watched it with the kids on like Disney Plus or something, and I was waiting for it to come up, and it never did. And I thought for sure, well, he's got the time device. He went there, and it happened. And okay, well, I think that might have been
that might have been like something a fan made or something.
No, it was not a fan made, Tony.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. I've never seen it. I've never seen it or heard about it.
It's a YouTube video of a guy with like some baggy Deadpool thing. I'm like, that's real. That was in the theater. I saw that.
But yeah, the ending is fun because my whole thing with the end of Deadpool 2, I'm like, you know what? This kind of justifies every plot hole and continuity issue in the X-Men series. Now you can just blame everything on Deadpool having too much fun with time travel. It's like, oh, why did Bolivar Trask, why was he a older black guy in X-Men 3 and then he's Peter Dinklage in Days of Future Past? You're like, oh, Deadpool went back in time and caused a butterfly effect.
Changed it.
Yeah. Why are there like multiples of the same? There's a Caliban in X-Men Apocalypse and Logan because the productions didn't talk to each other and they didn't know what mutants were being used. Now you can just blame that on Deadpool.
And also at the time, it didn't really matter. You didn't think about it because it was silly. But in the third one, it's apparently established that this device not only travels through time, but also through universes, because that's why he's able to assassinate a different version of himself and all that stuff. It all kind of ended up working out maybe better than they even anticipated.
Yeah. But then
okay.
No, I agree with you.
That's great, Adam. Shut up.
That's all I gotta say about Deadpool 2. I really, really love this film. And now that brings us to Deadpool.
DP3.
Yes, DP3. Deadpool and Wolverine. They brought him back, baby. You know, kudos to Patrick Stewart. I don't think he ever said he was retiring from Professor X, so when they brought him back, it wasn't as annoying. Yeah. But it really felt like that was the end of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He's not getting any younger. But I guess they gave him Disney money, and he's back now. Now
should we tell people? Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say yes. Spoilers. The movie has been out for a week. If you haven't seen it in theaters, or you could actually watch the whole movie in its entirety in 2-minute segments on Twitter right now. You watch it right now. No one's taking it down.
It's so bad. You bring up any of these social media apps and it's like 30 seconds of a spoiler just right in your face. These people suck. People
look,
suck.
I look, my whole thing is if you're gonna spoil something, make it very funny.
Yeah.
I tried that with Avengers Endgame, and a guy went off and started tagging my employer saying that I was like a Cuties fan and stuff. But I thought my joke was pretty funny. I ever told you about this? The Avengers Endgame thing I did?
Maybe, but I rarely listen to what you say. So go ahead and say it again.
I got to see the movie early, and I was just like, it'd be really funny. And I'm like, hey guys, Avengers Endgame's going out. Not everyone's gonna see it, so please don't say things like Iron Man dies. It's not fair to the people who haven't seen it. I thought it was really funny. And then this guy tagged everyone I work for just making up horrifying things because I spoiled an Avengers movie for him.
Yeah, you spoiled it.
I'm like, I've never been so mad at someone for a spoiler that I'm like, I need to ruin their life.
Well, Tony, you should be that mad, okay? Because this is life for us. This is our church. This is our religion. What was I gonna say now? I had something so witty and so profound. But let's keep going. Let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, I was gonna say this is live, so there's no spoilers or any tags anywhere. So anybody could join this live at any time, right when I say Blade is in this. And then
okay.
Oh, no, I didn't know. What? No, I didn't know there's gonna be spoilers. Yeah.
There's an option to do like a ticker, right?
What's that?
There's like a ticker at the bottom you can do, right?
Oh yeah, you can do if you're in your stupid, it's on the right side. There's banners you can do.
Yeah, hold on.
Go to banners. I'm not in the actual. I don't see what you see
I'm
right
on.
now.
Oh, banners. There we go.
And then you just create one and type in there. There's gonna be spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, let me add that banner.
Put the Bruce banner in
there.
There
we go. Spoilers.
Nice.
Now everyone.
It's not what I thought you were gonna do.
What are you talking about? I'm making sure spoilers are in there. You're right though. Why isn't it a ticker? Is there a way to make it a ticker?
Yeah, there's a way to make it a scroll. There's an option.
Oh, there we go.
I can do like a class with
you.
Done. Yeah. There you go.
Blade so if you're tuning in, spoilers, Blade is in the movie. Okay.
So now it's not ruined for you because you know.
Now you know. So we meet up with Deadpool years later. We find out that he traveled to. I'm still mad that the MCU is calling itself 616 because that's supposed to be the universe for the comics. It's really annoying that they didn't make their own number. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm really upset about that too.
I lose sleep over it, Adam.
You know what you should do, Tony? The healthy thing would be to find everybody that worked on this decision and start making up a bunch of terrible things about
Yes.
Them. That's the healthy adult thing to do.
Yeah, so he auditions to be in the Avengers, and I like that Jon Favreau's there.
Yeah.
Because this is the first like marriage between like the Fox Marvel stuff. They teased it a little bit. What's his face? Quicksilver was in WandaVision, but he was a different character. It was the same actor. So yeah, it's Jon Favreau who kind of started the MCU, and
he did,
and Ryan Reynolds, who was like pretty much bringing these two things together. And I like all the MCU stuff that's in Favreau's office. I thought that was fun.
That was nice. You had the shield and the helmet, and I did think like story structure wise, this came out of nowhere, and I was so confused about what was happening. I'm like, is this the same Deadpool we were just watching 5 seconds ago? Is this a different multiverse Deadpool? So I think narratively it was really messy in this first half of the film, but obviously it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because I was laughing my ass off the entire time.
Yeah. So he comes to the Earth. They turn him down. They turn him down as an Avenger. And he ends up getting picked up by the TVA from Loki.
Yep.
I did not.
Everybody knows Loki. Everybody's familiar with the material. So nobody was confused at all by this film.
I saw the first season of Loki. I didn't watch the second season. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm like, was it TVA that was like secretly Kang? And I know the first season ended on a cliffhanger, but I never figured out what that was. Is Kang even related to the TVA anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And the whole again, the whole plot was very bizarre because the whole idea is this TVA lackey wants to become the all-knowing god of the TVA, the king himself. But he's like annoyed by how long time is passing for universes to be destroyed.
Yeah.
So but we also know that the TVA is not on like normal time. Time is abstract. So what does it even matter? He's not waiting. He can just jump ahead or go wherever he wants. So that whole thing was very weird to me, but go on. Continue.
Here's a question I have, Adam.
Okay, please.
So the TVA guy, well, by the way, Wade Wilson, he's now a car salesman. He's broken up with his girlfriend. She's dating someone else. I thought that was stupid. They didn't even like work it
that
into
that was terrible. That was the one thing. Why is he not with her? It made no sense.
And like it's not even like that was like a joke, like making fun of how sequels do that. They didn't really have fun with it. It was just a dumb thing to do. Shatterstar lived. He saved Shatterstar.
Had to save Shatterstar.
And none of the other X-Force guys besides Peter.
Yeah.
Cable's not in this. Domino's nowhere to be found, and it could just be actors and scheduling, but they're not even referenced. So anyway, he's lost in life again because he feels like he failed. He gets picked up by the TVA, and they tell them that they want him to enter the MCU. Adam, I have a question.
Please, yeah.
But why does Paradox want Deadpool in the MCU?
No one knows. That's the paradox of it all. That's the no, it makes no sense anyway. He doesn't need Deadpool. In fact, Deadpool only gets in his way. So why? But I know this is comic book based or something, but the whole Mad Max Furiosa world makes zero sense to me at all. I don't even know why these people are being kept alive or why they're hanging out.
Yeah, it's like they mentioned in Loki when they like zap you, they just send you to the very end of time. Like you're
but why? Why not just
that's just where they send you. I know in season 1 they didn't even know that that's what that did. They thought it was just killing people, and then they found out that it takes you to that area. And then
only if you use the zapper though.
I guess so. Yeah.
Where do other people go?
That monster Eliath eats time, basically.
All right.
But yeah, so I was waiting because I'm like, okay, there's got to be a reason the bad guy wants Deadpool in the MCU. And I'm sure it'll get revealed and part of his master plan. And it never does. They never come up with a reason why he wanted Deadpool in the MCU. But it turns out Deadpool, I guess, takes place in the Logan timeline, which wasn't actually connected to any of the other X-Men timelines. Who cares?
Yeah, that was also really confusing because that would mean that the timeline that Wade's trying to save currently in another 6 years is going to go to shit anyways, and all the mutants are going to die because Professor X has a really bad headache, right? Isn't that what happened?
Well, that and then there was that company that was the bad guys were tampering with the food that was
and they were killing off. I mean, it was like a post-apocalyptic world in Logan.
Not so much a post-apocalyptic world.
It was pretty dour.
It was just a world without mutants, basically.
Pretty sad. Yeah.
It
was like it was Children of Men-esque is how I would describe it. You know, it's not great.
So yeah, he tries to go save Wolverine, and okay, we got to talk about this.
Yeah, please.
They knew that they would be undoing Logan, and people would get upset about that.
Yeah.
And people would say it's disrespectful. They knew that people would be like, oh, it's like you're dancing on their grave.
Yes.
And they did the best thing for comedic purposes they possibly could. They literally had him dig up his skeleton, dance all over his grave, completely decimate the corpse. And people are like actually getting offended. Like, this ruins Logan. I'm like, this is a joke movie. Like, you don't have to consider this canon. You can watch Logan in a nutshell and it's fine. It exists.
I thought it was perfectly handled. I was laughing my ass off. I mean, he's got the husk of him next to him on the he's using his bones to beat up TVA officers.
Dancing to bye bye bye. And I'm like,
puts on his claws and he gets one stuck in a guy.
I know. It was like the perfect way to do it because you're gonna piss people off and they're like, well, let's not even try to be respectful. Let's just go nuts with it. Let's just really do the most disrespectful thing we can possibly do.
It was great. Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. I do love people right now trying to compare Deadpool dancing to She-Hulk working. And they're like, well, why didn't you like this? Is it because you're sexist? And I didn't watch She-Hulk, but
that's exactly why. Yeah.
I guarantee you, if I watched She-Hulk, I probably wouldn't have cared about her twerking. Just like I don't care about Deadpool dancing.
Yeah,
I don't know why
I
we're trying to make this a thing.
I actually watched all of She-Hulk. I found it to be incredibly disposable, like Saturday morning cartoon,
Yeah.
fodder. It wasn't like, I don't know. It was a comedy, stupid, jokey show. That was the idea.
Yeah.
I just didn't find it very funny, but I didn't think it was insulting to the MCU and their precious universe. No, it was just kind of a misfire.
I didn't watch it, and I'm a big Hulk fan, and I always wanted to see a live action She-Hulk, but the state of the MCU, and then I heard like the early reception that the jokes were like really terrible. I'm like, I'm just not even gonna bother. I'll get to it one day.
Also, that actress Tatiana Maslany or something like that.
Yeah.
She's really good. I used to watch Orphan Black with her, where she played like five or oh Jesus,
oh God,
oh my God,
I used to watch it. Don't say that I didn't watch it.
Electrocutes me. She played like 5 or 6 different characters in the show. Bouncing off of each other. Really, really good stuff the first couple seasons. So I like her. I didn't want to knock on her because she did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it eventually at some point if it ties into something. Or maybe I won't watch because I didn't watch Loki season 2. And I'm like, should I know what's going on the TVA? And I'm like, I'll figure it out. But no, I didn't care about either thing. I thought the bye thing was funny.
That was very funny.
Yeah, they really kind of owned it. So yeah, he finds out his what's called anchor being is dead. We're not even going to try to describe anchor beings. It makes no sense.
Oh, that was dumb.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry, it's just dumb.
So he tries to pull a Wolverine from a different timeline wearing the yellow and blue suit, which I thought was fun finally. Yeah. But it turns out he sucks. He's the worst Wolverine. But don't worry, he tried other Wolverines. He tried a bunch of different. Okay, so I like that they were like, all right, we're bringing Hugh Jackman back. He's always criticized for not wearing the suit, and the suits that he did wear looked nothing like it. They're like, not only are we going to give him the yellow and blue suit, let's give him every iconic suit he's ever worn. So we have the Patch Logan. We have the X-Men Age of Apocalypse Logan. I love the brown and yellow suit. That was...
Yeah, when Hulk dropped in and, oh, man, you kind of wanted to see a little bit of that fight.
I wanted to see just a little bit. You wanted to see
the fight.
Yeah, because when I was a kid, obviously yellow and blue was in the cartoon. But in the comics, the little bit of comics that I had and the trading cards, it was like they were going all in on that yellow and brown. So, like, I always wanted the yellow and brown suit on screen. So that was cool.
That was cool. They probably had the fight all completely storyboarded out, and they were in the middle of animating it. And Kevin comes in. He's like, "Oh, we actually hate the Hulk over here. We're not doing anything with him. Okay, he's done." Yeah.
Well, the Hulk issue with his solo films is that
I know they don't have the rights. Yeah. They don't have
but I do appreciate that they're like, not only are we going to give Wolverine his comic accurate suit, we're going to give a lot of these other people their comic accurate suits. And even Pyro shows up with the comic accurate suit.
Did you recognize that was Pyro?
Yeah,
right away.
They showed him in a trailer like a while ago. So
I know. I saw the trailer. I didn't know that was the same dude.
I know.
Until he was probably on screen 5 or 6 times. And I thought, oh my God, that's fucking Pyro. It took so long for me to realize that. And I just rewatched X2.
Yeah. So their whole story, it ends up being like a road trip sort of buddy movie. They get sent, the TVA sends them to the end of time, the void. They have to deal with Professor X's evil sister, twin sister, who has mind powers, has a bunch of powers. Right. They run into a lot of other variants that were deemed not acceptable for the timeline. They have to figure out a way to get out of the void, back to the TVA, and save Deadpool's universe. Deadpool lies to Logan and says they might be able to fix your universe, but it's an educated wish. Wacky hijinks ensue. Wacky hijinks ensue. Lots and lots of cameos, lots of inside meta jokes. Adam, where did you land on this bad boy?
I really loved it. I did not like the plot, but I thought the movie was really funny. So overall, a great time at the movies. I took my 15-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter loved it, son loved it. Even if 30% of the jokes and references went right over their heads, we still had a great time. It's hard to even place this one right now because I've only seen it once. I think it's probably going to be the easiest one to rewatch because it just seems so loony nonstop this time. And there's way more action in this one than either of the previous two. The Logan Deadpool fights, there's multiple, both great. The 2 or 3 times they fight, You have the opening fight, which is phenomenal. What's the ending? Oh, and then the end fight with the Deadpools, where they do the one cam going across the road.
Yeah,
So well
it's
done.
An old school like beat 'em up, side scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah, like a Mario Brothers style where they're jumping on cars,
or the X-Men beat 'em up arcade. But yeah, sure, bring up Super Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers, you know,
because when I think of side scrolling beat 'em ups, I don't think of Double Dragon or Streets of Rage. I think of Super Mario.
I know all your things. I know all your games. Okay, I brought up Mario because they just had the Pixar movie and they did the exact same shot in that where Mario and Luigi ran left to right.
Pixar. That was Illumination.
I'm sorry, Illumination. I'm sorry, Illumination. Yes, of course, the Minions. Yeah.
God.
No, I really liked it. They purposely like teased us by giving us Lady Deadpool, then not showing who was under the mask. They did the Hulk tease. They showed baby Hulk or a baby Deadpool, baby Pool or whatever his name is, and he doesn't fight, which was really a bummer.
Yeah, I like. I think
that's almost a joke by itself because they had Baby Pool in there for like 3 seconds, and then they're selling merchandise about Baby Pool. Like he's going to be this big thing in the movie.
I think even Disney and Fox are like, look, we're letting you get away with a lot. We can't let you kill a baby, even if it's a baby who can regenerate. Like we're not. Other studios will, not us.
They could have had the baby doing the Yoda, like flipping around and just beating the living shit out of him, and then they just take him and throw him against a wall.
Yeah.
Austin Powers 2 got away with it many years ago with Mini-Me. He beats the living crap out of
not a baby, but okay.
I know, but it still looks really sad when he's like smacking him against the pole and.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time watching it. Saw this in IMAX 3D. I do worry like a lot of the jokes are like inside baseball. Like there are people. I asked my friend Casey, so she watched the other movies. Not like all Marvel movies, but like the X-Men and the Deadpools leading up to it. And I'm like, did you get the Channing Tatum thing? She's like, after my boyfriend explained it to me, I'm like, that's going to go over a lot of people's heads.
So obscure. Based a fan cast that they were going to make.
It wasn't a fan
movie,
cast. It was a legit cast. They were going to make that movie, and then it never got made. So as someone who knows the backstory, it was funny for me because his whole character is he doesn't know his origin. He doesn't know any of his motivations.
Yeah.
Because this movie literally never got made. But to anyone else, will this be funny? Will this be funny to anyone else?
No, I mean, again, my son knows Gambit from the animated show.
Yeah.
So he wasn't looking at it as humorous. He was looking at it as, oh, cool, Gambit's in this. Gambit's awesome from the cartoon. I do think Che Tate did a good job, but he wasn't quite superhero fit for the role, I didn't think. We're not getting any younger, so we're starting to kind of expand facially and everything. They had to get him on that Ozempic diet and get him to do better.
I feel like if his movie actually got made, it would have been very different. But I feel like they were like, you know what? This is going to be my one chance to play the character. Let's go full on comic accurate.
Yeah.
And let's just up the Cajun accent to 11. Let's just make
that was hilarious.
Ridiculous. Now, Adam.
Yeah.
We were talking about spoilers. You were aware that this big reveal in this movie was spoiled like a week before it came out. The X-23.
The X-23, I was actually pissed. That's the only thing that was ruined for me because the stupid studio put out a trailer and I foolishly watched it.
So I saw that and I'm like, oh, why would you idiots do that? That was like the one thing that didn't get spoiled because a lot of the other stuff like Sabretooth got spoiled. Pyro got spoiled.
He was they were in the trailers too.
Yeah. Well, not even the trailers, just the set photos from like a year and a half ago. Because remember, they stopped because the strike and they had to wait. Strikes. They had to wait till both strikes ended.
Yeah.
So I saw the X-23 preview and I'm like, damn it. So it got to the car fight, the Honda Acura or whatever car fight, which was a lot of fun. And I see that they're about to get rescued by someone. I'm like, all right, I know this is X-23. It's already been spoiled. I have to pee really, really bad. So I get up and pee and I come back in and I look up and I'm like, wait, what? And I see Channing Tatum, Jennifer Gardner, and Wesley Snipes.
Are you serious? You walked away before the reveals?
I thought it was just going to be X-23, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, wait, what's going on? What did I miss? I'm like, I peed for 5 seconds.
The other thing,
X-23 is not even in the scene until the end of the scene. I'm like, was that a fake out? What's going on?
Well, and also in the trailer they showed, I mean, it was edited, but they made it look like she was out by the bonfire with Logan, not in the
Yeah.
cave. So even from that standpoint, you should have still been hanging around, Tony.
I'm sorry.
Shame on you, Tony.
I really needed to pee and I could not hold it anymore.
It's funny you say that. I went to the bathroom shortly after I think she came out, and they did like the bonfire, like one-on-one conversation. I'm like, I have time to go quick.
Yeah, that would have been a good time to go pee.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't worry, Adam. Since this movie is up on Twitter in its entirety in 2-minute segments, I did go back and watch that scene.
And then you got to be like, yeah, Blade's in this, yay!
I didn't know Blade was throwing out the R word. I missed that. I do appreciate that they were like, you know what? A lot of our movies, we're trying to appeal to certain demographics, and it's not working. Yeah. Let's do one for the white guy, the white edgy boys. Let's give it.
That's right.
And I do like Deadpool making fun of it. Like he calls the one girl ableist because she's in the wheelchair, but she's not. She's not actually disabled. He's like, oh, the Gen Z's not gonna like that. And I do like when Blade uses the R word. He's just like, well, the woke mob can cancel me here. Again, these are really funny right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like 5-10 years now, will these jokes still land? Like, have you watched any of the Scary Movies recently? Those comedies?
Well, I only liked the first one to begin with. I didn't think they were very good after that. So.
But even that one, like, there's a couple of them that were referencing like popular commercials. I'm like, if you showed this to someone now, they wouldn't laugh at any of these.
Yeah, they're like doing the caveman. It's so easy a caveman could do it. Anybody remember that?
The twins. I think that was in the third one, that beer commercial. We're like, we like this and the twins.
Just do it.
Yeah. What's up? The very first one. It's like, okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of jokes like that in this where I'm like, I don't think any of this is gonna land like 5-10 years from now. It's funny in the moment. It's funny right now. I did appreciate.
Well, that's why I'm like on the fence of where to put this one, because I think a lot of it is really just kind of jokes that I don't think are going to hit again after the first initial like, oh, I remember that, and that's a fun reference, but there's no like layer to that humor at all. It's just kind of a one and done sort of situation. Also, do you think were they sponsored by Honda Odyssey? Was that just a hilarious, obnoxious tie-in that they embraced fully?
I don't know, but what they were sponsored by were, I think, Heineken, because I've seen that fucking Deadpool Wolverine Heineken ad a million times whenever I'm scrolling through any social media thing. Where Wolverine's like, where'd my claws go? And Deadpool's like, I made adamantium cans. I'm like, oh god, I can't watch this commercial.
Did they do any cross promo to his Mint Mobile or his Aviator?
I didn't notice any.
I don't think they did either, but there might have been an Aviator bottle in the background somewhere. Who knows?
You know what I did enjoy him making fun of, where he made fun of The Rock with the balance of power is about to change.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was good.
So many good little jokes in there.
And again,
he made fun of Wolverine's recent divorce, Hugh Jackman's divorce. Great, and Jennifer Gardner. That joke was probably the best.
The Daredevil. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's okay. Oh, never mind. Here's one thing I didn't appreciate, Adam. They talk about which Punisher left the rocket launcher, and he's like, oh, there's been a bunch of Punishers. And then Blade goes, only ever been one Blade. Only ever will be one Blade. And now I'm not sad for Mahershala Ali, whose movie still hasn't been made. I am livid over the disrespect of him ignoring Sticky Fingers from the live action Blade show, which I have been covering on my Patreon. Why did Blade not reference Sticky Fingers? It made me very, very upset.
I think there was also, and I could very well be wrong, I've been wrong several times every day of my life, that there were a couple of direct-to-DVD Blade movies as well.
No. Okay. Well, one...
Here we go.
An actual explanation is that the one from the show is technically the same Blade, so you could say there's only one Blade. No, see what they do, and they're still doing this to this day, Adam. They take the 2-part pilot and they label it House of Chthon, and they package it with the 3 films to trick you into thinking it's a 4th film, but actually it's just a pilot for a TV show.
Oh my god. They did remember when Fox did that with Family Guy, the Stewie Griffin movie, and then it was just like 3 or 4 episodes of the show that they ended up putting on the season anyways as like an extra cash grab. Fuck you. Nice, love it.
What else did they do that with? Shit, there's something else like that, where they like try to sell them as movies, but they're just episodes stringed together.
Well, I think the most disgusting display of capitalism I've ever bared witness to is when Fox did it with the Rogue cut of X-Men: Days of Future Past. The Rogue,
Oh yeah,
remember
which I covered recently. Yeah,
and that movie's way better because you actually have Rogue in it, and that
yeah,
whole you took who was essentially kind of the main protagonist of the first movie, and to a lesser extent the second film, the fish out of water character,
yeah.
and you put her all over the posters and then rip her out of the movie so that you could resell the DVD down the road as an extra. That's so disgusting. And she was all over the posters because
Yeah.
at that time, Anna Paquin was super popular because of True Blood. It was
Yeah.
really picking up. So Fox is like, how can we double dip on this movie? We'll cut out 15 minutes of it and just repackage it as the Rogue cut.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked.
It was awful.
I did like so as someone who grew up in the awkward 2000s, the awkward years of superhero movies before the MCU, it was fun seeing them revisit like Elektra and Blade, like, and I like their whole thing. Like, we never actually got endings, although they're all killed off screen, so they'll probably come back in Secret Wars. Whatever.
I feel like if Tatum could have taken like 5 pounds of his weight and transferred it to Wesley Snipes, we would have had a nice equilibrium, because Snipes looked a little thin in this. I thought he was a little frailer looking. Maybe it's because they didn't give him the cool jacket. I don't know why he didn't have his jacket on.
He didn't always wear the jacket, and they are in a desert.
I know he didn't always wear the jacket, but if you're gonna bring him back for nostalgia's sake, which is what they did, throw him in the jacket.
I will say there's one thing. There's one thing that upset me, because like in Deadpool 2, we got to see Juggernaut, size accurate Juggernaut. I'm like, oh, but he's not red. He's wearing the yellow prison uniform. He's got a gray helmet. I hope he's red in the next movie. And instead, we got to return to Leather Daddy Juggernaut, played by a different actor. And I'm like,
I was gonna say that's not the same guy.
No, not the same guy at all. He said he didn't want to do it. I think they interviewed him. He's like, I don't want to do it. Yeah, the only ones that returned are Pyro and Tyler Mane as Sabretooth. But like,
who were the randos? Do you know who the randos were? There's like a woman that was dressed in all leather, and there was another guy.
I think some of them were just whatever. But like Toad, Deathstrike, the one girl from X-Men 3 were in there, but they were all new actors. The Russian from The Punisher is in there, but it's a different Russian with the yellow and red, the white and red shirt.
Oh, they had what's Ezekiel or whatever, the night.
Oh, Azazel. Yeah, he showed up again. There is one joke that I expected them to do, and that was the Johnny Storm, Chris Evans joke.
That was brilliant.
And brilliant. The problem is there were interviews after Deadpool 2 came out that they were going to do that for Deadpool 2 during the audition scene. Like, and they talked about, you're
too in, Tony. You're too you're too online. You're too in the weeds.
I had to research stuff at the time.
No, you can't research anything. You have to be like me and get names wrong, get locations wrong, and then you just pretend like you know things, and then people in the comments like, what is he talking about?
But originally in that one, it was going to be during the X-Force audition. He was going to show up, and Deadpool was going to get like real excited, like, "Oh my god, we got Captain!" But then he was going to take his suit off and show the 4 logo, and they were like, "No, we don't want you." Instead, they did it in here. They did it in a different way, like that. They just
and he wasn't only killed him, and he wasn't only Johnny Storm, but he was also like some Bronx version, like a really heavy,
got way more New York than he was in those other two films.
I kept saying he reminded me of Dennis Leary from like The Ref or Demolition Man, especially at the end when he went on that long monologue. Like, I want to be put in jello, running around naked. It's straight up. It was straight up Dennis Leary. I feel like he watched a movie by him and said, "This is what I'm going to do for the role."
Yeah, the bad guy was it Cassandra Xavier? Cassandra Nova. Sorry. I do like that she was more interesting than the previous bad guys, like the bad guy from the Essex School and Ajax. She's more interesting than them. Still not great.
Cable's better. Cable's cooler.
Yeah, but I don't really consider Cable like a bad guy. He kind of stops being the bad guy for a while.
She was just an overpowered kind of nothing character. There just wasn't much there to work with. But unlike most I guess I shouldn't say unlike most. Marvel is notoriously bad with their villains, but
Mm,
unlike the DC side where they usually have a pretty cool villain that
yeah,
elevates things, I feel like the villains in these movies are always just kind of afterthoughts that are just
yeah.
they're just items for the character, the straight man, for the comedic character to bounce lines off of.
Mm.
Also,
But yeah,
she was really into hand stuff. She's really
yeah,
into
that
fingers.
apparently is from the comics. I looked up some
Uh,
images. She does do
yeah.
that. Like, I don't know why. She had like a bunch of like not specific powers. They were all kind of general.
She's like
Um,
everything. She can do everything.
yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of fun action. You can see X-23 in there. You can see they made Hugh Jackman do all the things you wanted him to do over the years. I appreciate once he put the mask on, he kept it on for like the whole finale.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I kind of like that. It made it worth it. Yeah, I mean,
The mask was it was weird. The mask. At some points it looked really good, and at other
yeah,
points it looked really cheap and kind of flimsy and like
yeah,
something you could make at home yourself.
yeah,
There was a mask at the end of The Wolverine, which I don't really care for that film. But
yeah.
at the way end, do you remember they teased the golden brown
That's the
mask?
deleted ending. That's the
All right,
deleted ending.
that's
Yeah.
the fan made film. It's the
No, no,
same
no,
one.
no. That is a
No,
real
I'm
ending.
joking. I'm joking. I'm
That
just
is a
bringing it
real
back
ending.
to my.
It just didn't
Yeah.
make it into the movie.
You know, now that I think when you said fan made, maybe what it was is it was just they took two things and they combined it together on a YouTube video, and I seriously thought that was like they just showed the Wolverine grave, then they showed Logan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so gone. But anyway,
Yeah.
the scene in Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine where he's looking at him and they're doing this Armageddon, Wrath of Khan kind of sacrificial goodbye.
Yeah.
Logan looked weird in that the camera angles they were using just did not work for me with
Well,
that
remember, they
mask.
are also adding a CG element so he can move his eyes, so that might be a whole thing. I think he did wear an actual mask, but because of the CGI eye thing, it's not like
Yeah.
the fucking last Thor movie where you could tell they were like, we don't know what we want this helmet to look like, so we're just gonna CGI it in later, and it just looks
It was
awful.
so bad.
It's
And
like,
what does he say? Like Rachel or whatever
Jane?
Yeah.
But it's like floating on his head. Like, this looked like good. Like, they knew what it wanted to look like. They had an actual one on set to match it to.
Half of Thor Love and Thunder felt like floating heads. He was constantly weird looking in the there was floating heads. Remember the kid that floated?
A literal foot. That was a movie that, like, have you seen any of the deleted scenes? Like, it was a completely different movie. Zeus was like a good guy at one point. They just shot so much and then reshot it. They didn't care.
Well, I think
and
Taika, he essentially said in several interviews he didn't give a shit about this movie. He was just having a fun time and getting his paycheck, which is pretty sad to hear, but also whatever.
I mean, I get it, but don't waste my time.
Yeah, right. Nice. Like, give it to someone that wants it, then, jackass.
It was nice
I'll
to
go
see
rewatch Jojo Rabbit.
I like seeing that, like, Marvel has really been, I don't want to say struggling, but like they're not really landing the hits recently. And I like how this movie is addressing the mistakes they've made. Like Deadpool says, you're coming in at a bit of a low point. And I have no idea what Deadpool's talking about. What could Deadpool possibly be talking about, Adam? What could he possibly be talking about?
Oh, jeez.
So it was nice to see them being self-aware. It's weird that the time travel stuff from the end of 2 didn't really factor into this at all. Again, I thought the bad guy paradox, like something Deadpool did while time traveling is why he wanted him.
It
but
seemed like there was a lot. Yeah, it seemed like there was a way easier way to explain this silliness away than the whole the anchor human and having to jump between dimensions and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It got a little.
And
messy.
Again, like I know, like the first 2, I don't really care about the plot too much.
No, but you have to at least be able to kind of get where you need to go from point A to point B.
They weren't as complicated as this. No. This had a very complicated plot for what's supposed to be a jokey superhero parody.
And a lot of exposition.
Which they make fun of, but then it's like, yeah, but you're also kind of doing it legitimately.
But you're also doing it, so you can't have your cake and eat it too, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate them going big, I guess. I hope Hugh Jackman's done. Like, come on, he's really, I know they're joking till he's 90. he's fine in like the Deadpool movies, but can we get, if we're gonna bring the X-Men back, can we get like a younger dude to do it? And
I don't think he's done. I think they're going to, at least
no,
for this Secret Wars or whatever the hell's coming out, the next
Yeah.
Avengers movie. I bet we're gonna see Hugh Jackman. We're gonna see those fucking Spider guys show up again. Andrew and Tobes are gonna be there. They're gonna bring them all in.
I'm fine with that. I'm just saying, if the MCU is getting their own X-Men team, you could still have Hugh Jackman and do all that shit.
Yeah.
But the MCU, it'd be nice if they had their own Wolverine played by like a younger guy. Did you, by the way, I don't think it's 100% accurate. What did you think of Short Wolverine? Comic accurate Short Wolverine.
That was very funny. I laughed out loud.
I think that guy was like 4 foot. I think Wolverine's supposed to be like 5'2". I think they made him a little bit shorter than he was supposed
Wolverine
to be.
is 5'3", I believe, in the comics.
Yeah,
and
that guy was
that guy looked way shorter than that. But it was very funny. And they Henry Cavill Wolverine looked very off to me. He didn't look great. I mean, he always looks great, but I mean, comparatively speaking, I don't think we go with him for the next Wolverine.
I mean, it was a bad wig and stuff. I mean, Hugh Jackman's worn a bad wig. There's that scene in X-Men 2 that's a reshoot where his hair just completely changes and he has fake mutton chops on.
Tony, X-Men 2, X-Men United is perfect. So I don't want to hear any negativity about that.
No, it's a good movie, but there's that scene at the very beginning where it changes.
Again, I feel like I only talked to you, but someone told me, and maybe it was you, that the Bye 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 song at the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine is also a reference to a Wolverine song because he hates Bye Bye Bye. It was in X-Men 2.
It wasn't me, but yeah, in X-Men 2, when he fires up Cyclops' car, Bye 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 plays.
And he's like, oh, yeah. That's okay. Maybe intentional. I don't know, but funny either way.
I don't know. Yeah, so overall, I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not going to be, again, I'm not too hype on Marvel stuff these days. I wonder if it's going to be like No Way Home, where I enjoy it in the moment, but when I think about it later, I'm just like, a lot of that didn't really line up, did it? A lot of that made sense.
I've been on record several times saying No Way Home is not that great. I think the final act is wonderful when all the Spider-Men come out, but everything leading up to that, you want to talk about a bad storyline. The plot of that movie is legitimately boo-hoo, my kids didn't get into the college they wanted to, so now I'm gonna fuck over everybody else. Ridiculous.
The rules didn't really make sense. Like everyone who knows Peter Parker, it's like, okay, well, did he know? I don't think Electro knew. Not like he met both, but he didn't know that they were the same person. Yeah, it was real clumsy getting there. Look, that was a COVID movie. All right.
Was that COVID?
Oh, that was a COVID movie.
Okay. All right. Well, these movies take a couple years to make.
Notice how he wasn't in a lot of
into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, notice how he wasn't in a lot of big crowds in that movie. Like,
that's very
New York
true.
Was pretty empty, minus like 2 scenes.
Were you surprised with this not going more into the MCU? Were you surprised you didn't seem like we did have the Thor cameo very quickly? He's crying, which was a funny gag that they kept doing.
People are trying to like actually dissect that. I'm like, guys, that's recycled footage from the
Dark World. That's not like a thing you should dissect. It was just a funny reoccurring
like
joke.
A funny thing. Like
people are sad, Tony. We have to let them be sad and pathetic. But I was honestly surprised we didn't get more Marvel stuff in
like
here.
Like putting him in older Marvel movies. Like we were here the whole time.
Exactly. Or him just like showing up at some of these characters' places. And there's a lot of things they could have done with it. I'm surprised there wasn't more of that.
Instead, they made it. Instead, they made it where it's like, hey, this is going to be a celebration of the goofy Fox. Yes. Although Blade is technically New Line Warner Brothers, which is why I think there was no footage in that montage at the end of all the Blade stuff. But it was fun seeing Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes together because Wesley Snipes famously hated Ryan Reynolds.
Hates him. And they make a joke in the movie about it. Doesn't he say like, listen, I know we don't really get, or you don't really like me or something. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, overall, I think it works. It's fine. I like it on like a superficial level where I'm like, I like that I got to see Wolverine do the thing. And I like that guy was there. And I like that Blade through the thing and Gambit through the cards. But overall, I'm probably not going to revisit it as much as the others. But I guess that brings us.
Let's
brings us to it. Adam, what is the best I should bring it up here. What is the best Deadpool movie?
I think we talked about 2 a bunch, and I do enjoy it. I think quite a bit more than you love it. I think a lot of people are actually sour on the sequel. They don't like it as much. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's just too goofy. But I think I will stick with 1 being my favorite for now because it really got the template right the first time. Yes, maybe the jokes don't all land, and it's a little juvenile, but that's Deadpool. He is juvenile. He basically is a Family Guy skit on steroids. And then I'm probably going to say it's in order of release, 1, 2, 3, mainly because I do like to have at least some cohesion with the storyline. It gets me a bit more invested, even if it's, it's a comedy, right? But there's some emotion in the first 2 movies. I felt some things. And in the third one, it was really just kind of silly antics. And a lot of it is kind of built around nostalgia and really random references that geeks like us understand, but a lot of people don't. For now, I'm doing 1, 2, 3. It's possible 3 moves up on rewatches. I just don't know how many more times I'll sit through it, mainly because of all that exposition early on.
I'm going 2. I'm going
2, 1,
2.
3.
2 just worked for me on every single level. The story was simple enough to follow, so you can have room for jokes. I think that is my problem with the third one. They made the story so complicated.
Yeah,
the jokes were funny, the action was great, but like it was just too much. I feel like I'm just like there's too much to pay attention to here. I like how streamlined 2 was, and how like the timing of everything. I think 2 is the best, but I mean they're all.
I'm sorry, and then what? 2, 3, 1 or 2, 1, 3?
I'll probably watch 3 more than 1 if I do rewatch any of them, but 1 is probably definitely better than 1's definitely better than Deadpool and Wolverine.
All right.
But no, Deadpool 2, that is my pick for the best Deadpool movie. Adam,
so brave.
Adam, should we read some super chats here?
Yeah, that'd be great. I think.
By the way, I totally forgot to stream to Rumble, but I'm glad that you are, because we're getting a Rumble bot in the comments that's really funny. Just linking to Satanic Hollywood and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I keep glancing over at the Rumble chat, which, by the way, my Rumble never shows up on StreamYard. How did you get it there?
Tony, when Rumble comes to you and says, please come on the platform, I just say, hey, if I don't have to do anything and this can go out to another audience, I'm all for it. And then I let Jesus take the wheel.
I'm not verified on Rumble. You got a nice little logo on StreamYard. I don't get that shit. I gotta put the fucking URL. God damn you. I used all my friends in there to try to get me to get verified, and Rumble did not come calling.
Some random guy that works at Rumble emailed me, and he's like, I want to promote your stuff if you do good things. I'm like, okay.
Remind him about old Uncle Tony.
I have a friend. I'm not interested in that guy. Just, we'll just talk to you. Okay.
Some of us get our other podcasts kicked off YouTube, but they get use all right. Get your super chats in, everybody. All right. The Flail says we're covering Brokeback Mountain for Police Month 2.
I've never seen it. I've not seen it. I heard it's great. I should watch it at some point. I just haven't.
Adam, we should go on a camping trip together.
Yeah.
I'll bring my copy. We'll watch.
Get the Jumbotron outside.
I do have an inflatable screen and a projector. Just me and you, just the boys.
We could maybe spoon afterwards.
Adam, we're 2 straight men making gay jokes. What is this? Deadpool and Wolverine? I love like film criticism. Like they're all like, that was so offensive. Like, no, you guys just forgot that's how dudes talk. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry a movie had to remind you of your high school, but that is it.
Right. I'm one step away from grabbing an Xbox and some Mountain Dew and playing around a Halo while calling people inappropriate things online and not worrying about it.
I love the people that are trying to like take the wind out of the sales movies. Like, hey guys, we gave you Miss Marvel and stuff, and no one watched. Can we have our things back? Like, we tried.
So it turns out the demographic has not changed. It's still a bunch of middle-aged douchebags. So we're going back to that well.
And they're teen boys who love seeing things get blown up and hot babes.
It's almost like Fast and the Furious figured this out 10 movies ago.
No one wanted to see Marvels, or okay, I guess we'll bring the boys back. Aussie
But
Dragoon.
Wonder Woman did so well. Yeah. Gal Gadot's in a miniskirt, dumbasses. You got everybody in that one.
Also, they should be like, yeah, that one did well. Justice League didn't do well. Wonder Woman 84 didn't do well. Like, name all the other ones that didn't do. Her cameo at the end of Shazam 2, that didn't do well. Okay, Aussie Dragoon for $5. This feels dirty. Official Joey C not being the one to tell me the name of the game. This super chat feels wrong.
All right, guys, the name of the game is Super Chats.
Shit, I'm supposed to. God damn it! I have to film a skit with Joey C, and I keep forgetting. I said I'd do it tonight, and I totally ghosted him. How in the hell is Gil gonna fit this new Deadpool movie into his X-Men timeline? Hold on. I'm taking a picture of that, and I'm sending that to Gil right now because I want to know. Oh, God.
Gil does the explanations of what happens in movies, but his explainer videos are becoming just as long as actually watching the movie themselves. That's the genius of it. I feel like Gil for research is now just playing the movie and stopping it every 3 seconds. Again. Okay, so the door opened and the person walked in.
Okay, this is a throwback to our Sam Raimi Spider-Man review. Aunt May Furious, but he had to spell it differently so he didn't get kicked off. Master debating. It's a variant, boys. Thank you, Eduardo Santiago. Michael for $1.99. Horror films that's better and worse than Long Legs. I could go all day long on literally movies that are better and worse.
Really, anything is better than Long Legs. Worse, Arcadian, that Nicolas Cage movie that I just saw.
I started that. I didn't finish it though.
So stupid. Long Legs was garbage. All these artsy fartsy A24 guys. It's not even A24. Adam, not even A24 movie, but it just wants to be. They're like, oh, you didn't understand the perplexed nature of Long Legs. It's such ingenious filming. Shut the fuck up. It was boring and slow and worthless.
Adam, there are worse horror movies than Long Leg. There's a bunch on Tubi. And whoa, how did my movie get up there? Take it down. Oh, God.
Wow.
I don't know why that picture of my movie came up when I was talking about bad horror movies. Okay, Cody Bishop for $1.99. Will you ever do a review of Tales from the Hood? 100%. They have sequels now, but I haven't checked them out.
Yeah. I've seen the first one. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
is that yeah, he's got the what do you call the doll? The voodoo doll, and he's like sticking the pins in. It's killing the dad. Ooh, that was good.
Cody Bishop for $1.99. Have you watched the new Batman on Amazon Prime? I have not. I'm going to. I'm thinking of doing a live review with Frank and Crystal if she can do it at some point, but I've not started it yet.
Is that the one that's in the same kind of art style as the animated series or not?
It's similar art style. Bruce Timm is involved, but it's not actually connected to that.
All right.
Adam, I know you stand up for these. You really should be sitting down. They made Penguin a woman. Oswalda Cobblepot.
No!
Adam, I saw that and I had to step away from the computer.
What are we going to do about this, Tony?
I don't know how I'm going to live.
Who do I have to yell woke to at the top of my lungs?
I don't know. As someone who grew up with the Penguin being a mutated fish boy who talks about pussy, I will not stand for this dramatic recharacterization of the Penguin.
Absolutely egregious.
Egregious!
It's preposterous. It's egregious.
So mad. They're like, they ruined the Penguin. Meanwhile, the day that was announced, the trailer for the live action Colin Farrell one came out. I'm like, guys, you're getting like two Penguins.
You're getting both. You're getting different things.
These characters have been around for a really long time. They're going to change them up once in a while. Yeah. It probably isn't going to work. Who cares?
Get Jackie Childs on the phone. We're taking someone to court, Tony.
Kiryu Pilot 379 for $4.99. Love the super duper cut. The attempt to unalive baby Hitler was insane. Yeah, that was another one I remember them saying like they thought it was too much for the theatrical version. I was shocked when I saw it on the Blu-ray. I'm like, oh, they put it on there. Michael for $4.99. You've been given a contract. Would you rather watch horror movies with jump scares or horror movies that are elevated for 365 days?
God, that's brutal.
I mean, I don't get the whole elevated thing, but I mean, I'd watch that over jump scares, I guess. I mean, jump scares are fine, but not when your movie is built on jump scares, which we got a lot in the 2000s.
Well, Blumhouse is basically jump scare house at this point. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'd go elevated because sometimes it works really well with a
Yeah.
Midsommar or
Yeah.
is Hereditary. I guess that's elevated horror. I mean, I like some of that stuff.
And some of those have jump scares too. Like that's the thing. There's
Oh my god,
crossover.
Longlegs had like 2 or 3 of them, and they were so obnoxious. And those were the only scary parts in that supposedly scariest movie of all time.
I hate them. Well, people said Sinister was the scariest movie of all time, and they're like, we figured this out by hooking you up to a heart monitor. I'm like, I remember being pissed off in the theater because there was a jump scare every 5 minutes. You're not actually scared. A loud sound is startling you.
Is that the one with he was watching like the found footage up in the attic? Yeah, and the lawnmower scene. That was cool. I like the lawnmower scene.
Those scenes were good, but then a ghost would pop out and be like, "Bing!" And I'm like, oh god. Aussie Dragoon for $10.
Would you like
I don't know.
water?
By the way, I'm not sure what super chats are on which channel. I
don't either.
I assume they're all for me. They should be.
Well, you know, my wife and 2 kids are going to bed that I have to feed and house under this roof. So yeah, good night, family. I love you very much.
Your house. There's Adam just flaunting his wealth, and how we stick it to those capitalists is by supporting underdogs like me.
I'm actually renting. I'm renting this house for a year. After that, we're probably gonna move to a cardboard box
back home because you didn't have a place for your stupid video store set. Oh, I'm out.
I'm actually in a broom closet right now. Remember the under the stairs from Harry Potter? That's pretty much what I'm filming in right now. I fit a lot in there, but it's impressive.
At my old job,
super chat to Adam Does Movies. Definitely.
My old job at for our first building, I was in the storage closet, but it was technically the biggest room. So I would joke and be like, I have the biggest office here. They're like, it's a closet. I'm like, it's still the biggest. Shut up.
That's like the joke in Futurama where Bender, Fry's living with Bender, and it's this tiny little awkward space. And Bender's like, well, you could stay in the closet, I guess. This is massive studio apartment.
All right, so I'd imagine Brad Pitt wasn't in the third one because he's likely included because he was close to the director of Deadpool 2, who used to be Pitt's stunt double. That's right, because the director of John Wick's, the directors were stunt guys. Deadpool 3 had a different director. Yeah, I think Brad Pitt was just around and they were like, hey, you want to do it? Because Matt Damon also has a cameo in Deadpool 2. He's the trucker talking about wet wipes when Cable shows up.
And and Deadpool 2, that's the same director that did Bullet Train, right?
Maybe. I think so.
That's with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
It adds up. That's a fact. That's an Adam fact. It's an Adam fun fact.
Also, I don't think that's why Brad Pitt wasn't in the movie. I just think they were like,
no, it's because he's friends with the director is what I'm saying. So the director's like, hey, Brad. And Brad was right next to him because they were already hanging out because they're best friends. He's like, you want to shoot a scene for Deadpool 2? And he's like, yeah, of course, best friend.
No, that's it. But he's saying he's not in Deadpool 3 because of that. I'm like, I just don't think they want to vanish her back in Deadpool 3.
Oh,
they needed that character.
The director and Brad Pitt were fighting in the third one, so he didn't invite him back.
He said, I hate you, Sean Levy or whoever you are.
Hey, Brad Pitt, we're not friends anymore. And Brad Pitt was next to him because they always hang out. Yeah.
Curio Pie at 379, 199. Why do you think Thor was crying? Deadpool reminded him of the box office for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Ooh, can't top that.
Yep. Earth 8371A. Tony variant is Tony Pool.
Tony Pool.
Curio Pilot again for 379. Curio Pilot 379 again for $4.99. I find it funny that in the comics he looks way uglier. They lightened it up for the movies. I'm like, hey, look, they got to ugly him up a little bit. I appreciate.
It's like anytime they do a movie based on a true story, and they always at the end show who the real person is.
It's just like,
there's always like a 30% glow up when you get to the acting version.
I do like for a lot of these movies, even like the second one, other than when he's in that weird afterlife world, he mostly just has the scars and mask on. Like he's really committed to it. Although Nice Pool was a lot of fun. The Nice Pool, like the real pretty, like
long hair. Oh, that was such a great bit. I actually put out a top 10 funniest moments from Deadpool on my channel. Adam Does Movies. You should subscribe to that for sure. But There's a scene where he kills off Nice Pool by using him as a human shield, and then acts surprised when he's not regenerating. He's like, "Oh no, what's happening? No!" And then
but he really just wants his desert eagle.
It's just got double guns and the dog. He gets everything he wants. It's so good. and Logan's just like rolling his eyes, like, what an asshole.
He's like, you killed him. Yeah, I did like the twist at the end where everything he was saying about Johnny Storm was correct.
That was good.
Do we have it here? Oh, I don't have it here. But the shoe store behind them was Liefeld Feet. I'm like, I love that they just keep making fun of the creator of Deadpool in these movies.
That's awesome.
Morgan Leager for $5 says, offered you to be in my 200th episode, got no reply. Still keep up the laughs. You cheer me up on bad days. When will you do the Lethal Weapon movies? That must be an Adam super chat. Adam, why weren't you in this guy's episode? That's really neat of you, Adam. Morgan, I am very upset. I didn't know Adam was a bad person. Thank you for warning me about him.
I mean, Morgan, you have to like drag me kicking and screaming to come on Tony's show. So what do you think I'm going to do here for you? This is already punishment enough.
Aussie Dragoon for $5 again. Cassandra Nova in the comics is weird and inconsistent because Grant Morrison kept changing what her deal was each time she showed up in his run. Grant Morrison's a weird dude, but he makes good stuff. Read a lot of his comics over the years. Panic Pun for $5 says, No Way Home is okay. It's a fun movie, but it felt like it relied on nostalgia baiting more than wanting to create their own versions of the villains.
My friends didn't get into the college they wanted. Oh, did you ever think about like asking the dean of the college? Oh, that would have been a good idea. Instead, I went to a magical wizard and had him erase people's minds and fuck up the universe. And he was cool with it because Doctor Strange is like, yeah, I do it all the time. Jeez.
And then we have King Dodongo for $2 saying, oil up. Maybe for our
Brokeback watching. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always oiled up.
I'm always oiled up. Hold on, let me see if I can find like
And on that note, no.
Yeah, get those last super chats in. Shit, I'm trying to find.
Working out of a rental home right now, you guys. If you're on Adam Does Movies live stream community or Tony's, come on over to Adam Does Movies. He gave permission. I need the super chats. It's the name of the game. I should have pre-recorded Joey C saying it for my channel. That would have been great.
The name of the game is.
Hey guys, Joey C here. We're moving super chats to Adam Does Movies.
Yeah, and if you're on God damn it. I don't want to
there's no way to return from this.
No. I was gonna show the one Rumble thing, but it actually has a link, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get kicked off. The Rumble bot. He apparently has the secret about Jews. I don't know, maybe it's like
oh my
people.
God.
I don't know.
I don't have it up. It's just,
dude, all my Rumble comments are, your channel is very interesting. I wish to help you. I'm like, really? They got bots here too.
I actually get real people actually comment on my channels. Sure, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists and a lot of pretty wild stuff, but on occasion there's like someone like, hey, I don't really like your content. Can't wait for your next video. You know, this was really good. Like, it's like a normal comment. I'm like, wow, there's like real people on this fucking platform. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's wild.
We got another one. Kiryu Pai at 379 for 199. Didn't she also cause the Gosha massacre? Like the Genosha massacre, you mean?
I think he means Genosha. That was the island they took the mutants to, right?
Yeah, I don't know if she had
with the collars.
No, they didn't have that's did you watch X-Men 97?
No.
That was the mutant, like Utopia, the free nation of mutants that got attacked by a big sentinel.
That was in the original animated series they had.
Yeah, they were still building it at. Oh yeah, you're right. That was when it was bad. The new in the comics later on, it becomes like a Utopia. They did it a little bit in the Dark Phoenix movie, but not as much as they should have. And the latest, one of the best episodes of X-Men.
Don't tell me. I need to watch 97 still with Connor. We're gonna get through it because I was a fan of the animated series back in the day.
Yeah, dude. So when I reviewed it with Doug Walker, when you showed up for 2 minutes, the fanboy, we were talking about how that show did it perfectly. It was mature enough, but still felt like it was connected to all the other ones. I'm glad I
watch it.
I'm glad I binged all 5 seasons leading up to it. Like I just went hardcore.
I know. Probably skipped 4, or I mean 5. You could have skipped 5.
Because they do call back to it. Like, what's his face? Sunspot is a main character now in X-Men 97. He's introduced in that.
Did they kill Xavier off in 5? Am I misremembering that, or he's on his death's doorstep?
He was dying, and Lalandra comes and like, I'll bring him to my planet to try to fix him. So he died like cartoon hero.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
But they never did a season until now. He was technically dead, I guess. Perm.
It's the South Park, or it's the Simpsons. Poochie died on the way back to his home planet.
Perm for $5 says support.
That's an Adam Does Movies fan. Thank you, Perm.
Yeah.
Thank you, Perm.
Thank you.
And the flail.
The flail for $2. Just a conspiracy theory.
The flail. We both know the flail. He's been around. Okay.
He makes wonderful stuff. Flail, the pillow of the Hack the Movies H logo, my nieces loved it. They got peanut butter and jelly all over it. And I'm actually glad you're here right now. Is it washing machine safe? Is it going to get destroyed if I put it in the washing machine? Please, if I don't see the comment, DM me on something.
Also, that's good to know for the future when we go up north on our camping trip. We could maybe bring that with. It'd be nice to know if that's washer safe for after our weekend's done, if you catch my drift.
Jesus. Adam, with these gay jokes, it's 2024. Who can make $400 million at the box office with gay jokes? Black Tom is Banshee's brother. Okay, that was the character in Deadpool 2. I didn't realize it was Banshee's brother. I do like in Deadpool 2, Omega Red is just one of the prisoners. He's just like a background character.
Yeah, that's right. He's been referenced in several of the X-Men things. He was also in X2 when Lady Deathstrike is hacking into the computer. It's actually Mystique. There's an Omega Red folder. There's a few different ones. So we see you. We see you.
Yeah.
But they'll never make it. Apparently, they'll never make it. It would be nice to get an Omega Red movie. That'd be pretty awesome. Get him as a villain.
Or at least in a Deadpool, like an actual Deadpool.
That's what I mean. Make him the new like CG character, like Colossus and Juggernaut.
I like that the Deadpool stuff is where you can have the more goofy looking characters. No one's taking it seriously anyway. Yeah. Man, we're just like fucking super chatting it up here. Joe Panacci, $5. Tony, always fun to catch the live streams. When is the next live event you'll be at? Is there something at Mahone and Driving worth driving to? You know what? I'm glad you said that. I had a whole shilling section in the beginning. Then I forgot this wasn't a monthly wrap up. So I moved it to the end. Adam, while we wait for more super chats to come in, can I shill for a second?
I would absolutely love if you shilled, Tony. It's what I love the most about you.
Well, on Patreon right now, I don't know if you've seen this, but you can now sell individual videos or audio things or even collections to non-patrons. So the previous 4 years commentary tracks, I was doing this on Bandcamp. It's way easier here. You can now buy those previous years commentary tracks without having to be a patron. It's cheaper if you are a patron. $5 gets you everything. But if you're like, I'm not into the commitment, I'm not ready for that kind of commitment, I just want to see what you had to say in 2022 and nothing else, you can now buy that.
But Tony, what if I'm on a fixed income and I just want to try becoming a Patreon for 1 month? Is that something I can do?
That is something you can do. You don't have to do the annual membership. I usually tell people to be a YouTube member first because that's everything at the $2 tier. And I don't know how to get audio commentary tracks onto YouTube memberships. So if you like everything, you could then switch over to Patreon where there's even more fun stuff. Adam, you might be wondering, what's new on Patreon?
I was wondering that, Tony. Glad you asked.
I finally uploaded my Boston vlog. It took me a really long time for some reason. There's me in front of the Christopher Columbus monument because I feel like I needed a new Italian in Boston to make a name for himself, and that Italian was me. I finally uploaded it. I shot it in February. Never go to Boston. in February. That was a terrible idea.
Do you wear the cool shades at any point in time in this vlog?
I probably do, yeah.
Oh, then I'm in. I'm all in.
And attached to the end of the Boston vlog is me talking about the Evil Dead musical, because that's why I went to Boston. It was the end of the Evil Dead musical. Really, really fun time. I also have commentary tracks for Mission Impossible 3 and The Burning. And you guys were asking about live events. I will be at DabbleCon in Rochester this month. That's 2 days, Adam, of people making fun of stuttering John Melendez from the Howard Stern show. Adam, people now have whole careers making fun of stuttering.
There truly is a con for everything, isn't there?
And he just keeps losing money and keeps getting sued and threatening people, and his family won't talk to him. And meanwhile, everyone's making, all he had to do was say nothing when people started pointing out that his show was bad. Instead, he tried to sue everyone and attack all their family members. Now he's showing up to people's houses. But Adam, he's showing up to people's houses when he knows they're not there and then calling them pussies. He did that to a guy recently. He filmed himself. He's like, he won't come out. And the guy like leaked his DMs. He's like, no, here's me telling him that I wasn't going to be there at that time. He could come later earlier.
I just want you to know, Tony, that every single thing you said has gone over my head. I have no idea what any of this is.
But people who like DabbleCon will know what I'm talking about. Okay. I'll be there. And I'll also be back at the Mahoning Drive-In for the punk rock flea market. I'll just be vending there, and they're screening The Crow that night. That's the end of the shill time. Let's go to those super chats.
You pumped up for the new Crow movie, Tony?
You know what's weird? My Crow
with Austin Butler as the Crow.
no, Adam.
I know.
No, Adam. It's Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh, Stellan Skarsgård.
I think he's too old for the role, but whatever. It was weird. My Crow review did not do very well. I'm hoping when the remake comes out, it'll push that up. But I am planning on doing a "What is the worst Crow movie" episode after the remake comes out.
Oof.
There's a lot to choose from.
There's a lot of gold to mine.
There's 3 original sequels. I'm not including the TV show because that's just a remake of the movie. And the new remake, which is a movie. So
that's like doing what's the worst M. Night Shyamalan movie? There's so many options now. Where do I even begin?
Okay.
I just saw Trap, by the way. It was terrible. That's why
I saw your
brought
little
that up.
thing there.
I saw your little fucking review.
You text me. You're like, Tony. No. This is the Godzilla -1 of horror films, and by that I mean it's the worst movie ever made.
I did not say.
But you know what, Adam? I'm pretty sure by now you finally watched Shin Godzilla and you've seen the light. What did you think of Shin Godzilla?
I did watch Shin Godzilla on a plane. Connor was next to me watching some anime crap on Netflix that actually looked kind of cool. I kind of wanted to watch what he was watching, but every time Godzilla showed up, Connor would look over and be like, what in the hell is going on? Like, I don't know, but this is pretty crazy shit.
Yeah.
So I actually liked the ideas behind Shin Godzilla. Overall, did not work for me. Whenever it went to the organizations and the what is it, I don't know the name,
like the government and stuff,
the government, whatever the heads of these state things are, that stuff, I know it was supposed to be kind of satirical how unorganized they were and how like in the weeds they were with everything, but it went on and on and on. I don't think Shin Godzilla's in this movie very much. What does he have, like 5 minutes?
I kind of felt the same way at first, although that was another bad theater experience where a guy was way too excited about Godzilla. James, the Angry Video Game Nerd, was there, and this dude just wanted to like talk to him constantly. He was talking throughout the movie. But that's another one where on rewatches I liked it more. I just love when they're like, who's left in charge? It's like the Department of Agriculture. He has no idea what to do.
I mean, I love that it was like a Pokemon in this one, and he kept evolving. He started as this disgusting slug thing on the ground. The designs were fun and wild and wacky. That worked for me. I think had you provided me with the original cut and not this English dub bullshit, it probably would have hit.
I thought you said you were going to watch it with your son, so I didn't know if you like to read.
Well, Tony, I'm trying to raise my kids right. When we watch foreign films, we watch them in their native tongue. We put on some subtitles.
Could have asked me at any point to send.
I just assumed you were going to send me the correct version, and we wouldn't.
You also could have went on Amazon Prime, fucker, and just rented it if it bothered you that much.
I watched it like 2 months after you gave it to me too, on a plane.
It's so much time.
It's so much time.
It's
fine. I appreciate you providing it to me.
I bet you turned Shin Godzilla off and you were like, time to let me wash that filth out, and you put the Marvels back on.
That's right. Back to the Marvels. For
Adam,
the
I know we need to do
time.
I know we need to do a V for Vendetta commentary track. We always
do.
We keep
do.
forgetting to do that. Or I keep forgetting to do that. Don't worry, we will. We should do that. We should all. I still haven't watched the Marvels. We should do a Marvels commentary.
Oh, that would be fun.
So I can be like, Adam, why is this your favorite movie?
Why do you love the Marvels so much?
A few months back, I made my friend Kaylee go blind into Madam Web. She knows nothing about Spider-Man other than stuff she kind of remembered from the movies.
Perfect.
That the second Andrew Garfield movie was shot in her town, and that's all she knows. I'm like, are you getting any of this? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, good. Neither do fans. Like, they don't understand any of it.
When my mother was in the Amazon, she was bitten by a radioactive spider, which gave her the ability to. It's so awful. Dakota Johnson just cashing a check, doesn't care.
So yeah, do you have anything to plug? If we're waiting for more super chats. Oh wait, did I read this one?
You missed one.
I did. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where is Mint Salad? I don't know how to spell her name. It's
Mint
Salad.
Yeah.
It's not one word. It's not Mint Salade.
I mean, it's a bizarre name, so he probably was like mint salad. Why would it be mint salad? That's ridiculous. But no, it's mint salad.
No, it's mint salad. I don't know. She's probably streaming. She streams a lot. She was in an art competition on someone else's channel. Her and another artist were like doing a competition. And I told her, I'm like, usually I'd root for you, but it's Boys Month. I don't even know the man you're going up against, but I'm all in on him.
We're all in.
Aussie Dragoon says, no commitments, Tony. It's Boys Month. Thank you. He got the apostrophe. Right? All right, so Adam, shill some stuff. What do you got going on? What's on your Patreon and whatnot?
I'm so happy you asked, Tony. I have that review out today for Trap. Spoiler, I did not care for it at all.
Oh.
The trailers for these movies always get you. They always pull you in.
By the way, spoiler, Blade is in Deadpool and Wolverine. Anyway, keep going.
Oh no, you put it down there. So know. I'm playing along. I will have the spoiler video for Trap out probably tomorrow if I play my cards right. And I spent a lot of time with my family, my childers. That we're just trying to keep a roof over our head here. It's a rental, as you know. We're gonna be living in a cardboard box in a few months, so super chats are great. But no, anyway, after that. Oh my God. You know what I have to do tomorrow, Tony? And I would love if you join me. We could watch it together and we could do a commentary in real time. Wouldn't that be fun? What do you mean for what? Zack Snyder's master cut of Rebel Moon. It's only 3.5 hours long.
I don't think I could do it, Adam.
Tony, I'm going to call you up at the ass crack of 3 a.m.
I'm filming. Okay. I will fucking kill you. I have to be up at 6 a.m. to drive my dad to the airport so he could go on vacation. If you call me about Rebel Moon, I will drive to wherever the hell you live in.
It was stupid of me to ask. I know you've already seen it. It came out today. So obviously you stayed up last night and you watched it. Fair enough. But no, I'm going to probably try to set time aside to do that. Connor does have a football game in the morning, which is miserable. But after that, I'll be home. And that'll be...
God, I'm wasting my time with football. I could be watching Rebel Moon.
Yeah, I'm like out there pissed. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, I don't even smoke, but I am right now for this bit. Come on, I gotta get to Rebel Moon. So yeah, I'll probably have a bowl of cereal.
Dad wasn't nearly as good as Rebels. I don't know. Is her name Rebel? I don't know if her name Rebel.
It is not. It is Rebels. That would be awesome. If her name's Rebel Moon. That would be great.
Dad, I don't understand. Why are you changing me and my sister's name to Rebel and Moon? I don't get it.
Because Lord Snyder deemed it so.
Yeah, that's another question, Dad. Why is her last name Snyder now?
I legally had it changed to be closer to the God King. Yeah, so those look for the trap spoiler, look for Rebel Moon. Probably do a fucking review and a spoiler review for that. And on my second channel, Adam Does Rants, which is new. It's almost monetized, Tony. I'm so annoyed that it's not yet, that I put 2 classic Adam rants out on the channel to get me over the hump.
I saw those and then I clicked them thinking they were new videos, and I went, "You motherfucker. I've seen these before."
But then did you watch and realize, like me, that I was actually way funnier a few years back and that setup works better? So now I'm going to kind of reconstruct the set for those rant shows with the white background. I'm going to try to get back into like my funner self. We're going to see if it works, but
we're going to see. Real quick, I finally got an answer. I have to hand wash the pillow, Tony. I put the pillow in the washer, but I didn't turn it on. I'm like, I should probably ask first, so I'm glad the flail was here.
Hand wash the pillow.
And I'm going to yell at my nieces. I'm like, never get peanut butter and jelly on this again. And they're going to be like, we're 2. We don't know what you're talking about.
That's all I have.
That is all you have. Okay, I think that's it for Super Chats.
I think we ran the clock down as much as we could.
I think we did. And now because I forgot to set this up for Rumble, I got to take it down and put it up on Rumble. I'm not taking it down. I got to download it and put it up on Rumble.
I do have to manually end the stream on Rumble. I know that. That's fun.
Oh, is that how you do? Oh,
so when the stream's done, you actually have to go in and stop the stream on Rumble.
I wonder how you're streaming. I'm using StreamYard and the RTMP code.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, mine just stops. But I don't have this fancy Rumble, whatever that icon is. I don't have that.
You have to stop it. You
don't
know what you're doing. Your stream is still probably going from like a week ago or whenever you streamed last. It's still going.
Adam, I'll remove you right now for Rumble. I could do it. All right, guys. That's the last one coming in. All right, that is it from us. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comment what your favorite Deadpool movie is. And apparently it's not the Jim Carrey one. All right. Adam, we'll come back. We'll do what's the best Dirty Harry movie. Let's do it.
Oh, that would be so much fun for 4 people. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Tony's favorite movie, as he said, Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Why is it taking so long?